In looking at powerful people, the person who talks less always gives off a greater aura of power than the people that are yabbering all the time, that are talking, that can't control their tongue. And the idea is, if you can't control your mouth, if you just keep talking and talking, it gives an aura to other people that you can't control anything else. You have no self-control. And that is a very unpowerful aura. And obviously, the more you talk, the more you are prone to say something kind of stupid. Give off an air of mystery, give off an air of control. And so a lot of people have a hard time with it because they think, oh, shouldn't I just be able to say whatever I want, just talk? No, you don't, not in the social world, not in the work world. It's going to get you in trouble. Learn to control what you talk and learn that there are moments that saying less is actually much more powerful than just yammering on and on. I did a book with 50 Cent called The 50th Law. And 50, I met him because he's a big fan of the 48 Laws of Power, right? It's like his Bible. And I remember for that book, I went to a lot of meetings with him. I was kind of hanging out with him. And he would always tell me, Robert, watch me in a meeting. I'll say very little, but everybody will have their eyes on me, right? Because when you talk, then they kind of know who you are, and they start to almost disregard you. But when you're silent, particularly someone like him, why is 50 not reacting to what I'm talking about? Why isn't he saying he loves my ideas? What's he thinking? What's going on in his head? When you make other people think about what's going on in your head, you're the one in control of the situation. Whereas if they know everything that you're thinking, everything that you're doing, then they have power. They have power over you.
We were just talking off camera about the law of interaction with boldness. So contextually, to be, it's obviously nuanced. Don't conceal your intentions internally to your team. Conceal them externally.
Yeah.
And then when you want to go, you have to go big and bold.
Yeah. A lot of power is thinking ahead, 2 or 3 moves ahead. And in the concealing intentions law, I talk about Otto Bismarck, the German chancellor, who was a master. He was playing that kind of game, that kind of chess on the political chessboard of Europe at the time. He was thinking several moves in advance. And in order to think several moves in advance, you know what your intentions are. You know where you're going to go in 6 months, right? And so you have to have a vision of where you're headed, but you have to keep everybody else in the dark so that they can't predict what's happening next. So part of concealing intentions, part of business, part of power is the ability to think strategically, to think in advance, to think several moves in advance. And that means having intentions, having moves that you've planned out, but you want to keep other people on their heels. They don't know where you're going to go next. Michael Jackson was very good about that. Part of it was his personality, but he would withdraw. People don't understand Michael Jackson was a real kind of power person. He really is interested in the game of power. In fact, I've said this before in other podcasts, he had the 48 Laws of Power. And when he died, they auctioned his copy of the book, and it had all of these notes in it. He had annotated it completely with his own notes. So he was very interested, but before the book came out, he understood the game of power. And he understood sometimes you have to withdraw. Sometimes you have to be one of those movie stars like Greta Garbo who disappears for 6 months, a year, or 2 years. People start thinking, what's he up to next? When's his next album going to be out? What's it going to be about? Even Beyonce plays the game like that. So the people, these are artists, so it's a little easier. But the game is to sometimes withdraw from that attention cycle. We are always having to be something for other people. To take a step back and let them start wondering what happened to you. Disappear for a while. You have to know the game of absence and presence. Sometimes you have to be absent and sometimes you have to be present. Napoleon Bonaparte said, if I show up at the theater every evening as a spectator, the audience sees me, they start taking me for granted. But if I show up a month later, I go, oh, there's Napoleon. Wow. Then I show up the next week. Oh, he's coming off. And then I show up in 6 months. They don't know when I'm going to show up next. So they're always having to think about him. So that's sort of the game a little bit, knowing how to, this dynamic between absence and presence.
The more you are seen and heard from, the more common you appear. If you're already established in a group, temporary withdrawal from it will make you more talked about, even more admired. You must learn when to leave. Cultivate value through scarcity.
Yeah, I mean, the problem that a lot of people have with my books and in life is they're too black and white. So they'll say things like, well, Robert, if I'm absent on social media, no one will have heard of me. If I don't write this book, if I don't put out another album, if I don't produce this product, how can I do that? You know, what are you talking about? Absence like that? That's very dangerous in the world. Well, I don't talk about just absence. I say it's a dance between absence and presence, right? So it's not like you disappear so that you are a little bit less present. You're able to disappear for a while and you make people wonder about you. Napoleon said, if I show up at the theater every night in Paris, in my little emperor's box, people start taking me for granted. If I show up every week, they'll be going, that's interesting, but he's coming every week. If I show up once a month, it's like an event. Oh my God, he came here. When is he coming next? Whoa, it's all this attention. That's the dynamic of absence and presence. If you come every 2 or 3 days, nah. If you come every week, nah. If you come a month, yeah. If you come every year, people will forget about you, won't have any power.
Yeah.
You have to know exactly the dynamic.
Is that a common mistake people make in relationships, revealing too much about themselves too quickly and becoming boring, let's say?
That is definitely a problem. I mean, in The Art of Seduction, I have a chapter, the last chapter, the 24th, about, so they have strategies of seduction in the second half of the book, and they kind of slightly go in sequence, leading to the end, to the culmination of your seduction. Then there's a chapter, the after effects, after you seduce someone. And the idea is, even in a relationship of a year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, you have to keep some level of seduction going. It's not the same level as when you're first dating, because that would be exhausting, right? But you have to keep a sense that you're not taking the other person for granted, that they're not so familiar to you that you just stop trying. You don't dress nicely anymore. You don't take them to nice restaurants. You don't try and do things that are surprising. You have to keep an element of mystery and surprise in any relationship to keep it going. And if people become too familiar, if you become too familiar to them and you just fall into these patterns, then all of that mystery and spark is gone. So the key in a relationship is to have moments where you surprise the other person. You've been with them for 10 years and suddenly you take them to a restaurant or on a trip that they had no idea you were thinking of, or you say something that's completely surprising to them. It doesn't have to be something expensive. It can just be an action or a behavior that they've never seen before in you. And it's not fake, it's real, but you have to realize that the feeling for the man or the woman that you are being taken for granted, that they know you, they know everything about you, is deadly. It destroys the sexual tension between you, destroys everything else. It's a person who attracts fantasies. So there's a kind of a slight blankness onto them, a kind of a mysterious quality where we see onto them whatever we want to see, right? We project onto them all of our fantasies, all of our desires, and they know how to attract that kind of attention. So actors and actresses are kind of the classic example. They're the star, obviously, but they know how to embody a certain kind of fantasy. And if they were too strong about it, if they projected it too outward, you wouldn't give room for people to fantasize about it. But the fact that you're kind of empty, that there's something mysterious about you, almost as I said, something kind of empty, that we can now see what we want to see in you, is the primal kind of star quality. A powerful person in a meeting is kind of relaxed. They're kind of like this. They could put their bodies anywhere, right? Or some other person's like all
tight and nervous and aware. A powerful person has a directed focus. A weak person is always looking around, touching their hair, touching their face. There's a word for it, I forget what it is in nonverbal communication, but it's a sign of insecurity, right? A powerful person is able to look